Hey guys, welcome back, man. We are live now again, back in the studio, but we're here with Kyle Mafnas, man, one of my brothers, man, my friend, my dude. We've been through a lot together, our childhood, and man, this is gonna be really special because someone that knows me outside jujitsu and knows me in jujitsu, like the two worlds, and this guy knows it. He knows both sides, and this is gonna be a really special episode with Kyle, man. Into the Fire. He's a dad, a firefighter, freaking expert cooker, an expert baker. You name it, he does it. He fix it. Brother, thank you, man. I really appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. And it's pretty cool to see you this podcast come alive and watching you grow. Like you said, knowing you from the outside, from the little boy, right? Like all of us now grown adults and seeing you do your own thing too. So it's really cool to be here. Appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy, bro. Like we've been, you know, what I mean, like I said, I know you moved out to the States. We've been chopping it up a bit, but we really didn't have. We don't really have time to, you know what I mean, like physically, like meet up with each other because you're over there busy with life, trying to pack up your house, and we're gonna get into that, packing up your house and moving, and where you're at in your life. But brother, tell the viewers where you're from. You know what village you repping? Because you know you lived in a wonky area where it was Silahanya.
I live in a wonky area right now. I live in Parkland, bro. It's the ghetto. Yeah, no, obviously my name's Kyle. You introduced me. I was born in Guam. It's actually funny. I did move to the States until I was 7, and then I came back to Guam. Honestly, villages, I mean, we constantly were moving a lot, so I'm not gonna lie, I don't really represent a village, so I just call myself a boony dog, you know what I mean?
Hey man, this is where it's at.
We're all over the place, even now. We're jumping all over the world. That's how we're going.
And that's how we kind of lived our lives, you know. We just whatever we can get into, like growing up, like we just do whatever, you know. Like we didn't really play sports. We weren't like basketball players or soccer players or nothing. Like, we just hang
Yeah, I mean,
out.
and that was the thing, right? Like how you talk about that, right? Like constantly moving, like growing up like poor, right? Like parents trying to provide for us. So it's constantly sometimes too is like we couldn't afford money. So it was like, hey, go out there and hang out with your friends or do some backyard stuff, right? Like, I mean, that's literally how my jujitsu career started, right? Was you, Uncle Ray, and then you and your brother, right? So I always tell people like my first coaches were you two, you know, I mean, training in the back of our room in a tin house on some ghetto mats, and
Yeah.
then every once in a while getting invited to go, you know, UX or um, when Figo was at when UA was there. Yeah, it was yeah,
All right,
it
let's
was
let's
like,
start. Yeah, let's start childhood, man. Like let's start from the beginning, how we first met and integrated ourselves in to our friendship and our you know what I mean, like how we got closer together. Let's start there. 'Cause those were fun times. Those were fun times.
yeah, I mean, I think right how it started was you know, Zach my older stepbrother, right, like hanging out with Chris, and then I remember going around, and then we would stop by your house, like meeting Chris, and just see these two little boys and Dav, and then the naughty ass kid that you were, freaking always trying to do everything around, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
eventually it just became a thing where, you know, Zach and Chris, right, became best friends, and you guys would constantly be over the house, or we be over the house, you know, you calling mom, my parents mom and dad, and me calling your mom, you know what I mean? Just every time we come in, it's like, oh, or just open up the fridge and get something to eat or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and then it came to a point
It
where,
was like that.
yeah, it came to a point where basically it almost felt like, I mean, it still is like that, right? But like, it really felt like also too, especially like coming from, like in a step family, right? Step brothers and step sisters, right? Like it wasn't, we didn't consider that, right? It was more of like, it didn't care if you were blood or not blood, right? And that's what I felt like you guys became, right? You and Chris, because I felt like constantly we were just always with each other, you know what I mean? I remember you bringing me to your house and we freaking, what is that? Spray painted your wall to try to make a design on the wall.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that. I painted it purple,
Yeah,
and
and
then
then we like took a bunch of spray cans and we tried to spray can the wall.
that was
Yeah,
one many
that
dumb
was,
ideas. That was one many dumb ideas I had, bro.
dude. Like I said, like I remember, like I was like we're young and dumb, right? Like smoking weed. Like I remember, like you and Lorenzo, like you were like Always, like, try to, like, "I wanna smoke that, I wanna smoke that," and then we freaking, rolled up grass, and you guys smoked it, and you're like, "Ah, I'm so high." That shit was hilarious, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember that, man, because like I was like, "Oh, dude, this how we supposed to feel. I'm so stoned, bro. I'm hungry, man." And then after that, Chris comes in and says, "That you don't need smoke."
And then you
I
and
was like,
Lorenzo
"No, no." I was like, "No, no.
yeah.
We know we only.
You
I.
guys
It was
swore you
only for
guys
the
were
grass."
high, dude.
Yeah, dude. Dude. That was
Yeah, man.
funny,
I
man.
dude, I remember that, dude, or, like, just doing, like, dumb stuff. I remember, like, Jackass was, like, the big thing at the time, and all of us were just trying to do stupid shit all the time, dude, like
Well, Steve will be the one. He's the guinea pig. Steve will
yeah,
always try to do
yes, you know,
something
yeah,
dumb. You know what I mean? He would just try to do something dumb, and he just always did dumb stuff. You know what I mean? Like it was just normal. Like, oh, there goes Steve doing something dumb. Jump off the roof. Yeah, man. It's crazy that you mentioned that. Like we did have that bond where you came to my house, like opened the fridge, whatever. My mom cooked something, like we just all ate. Or I'll go to your house. I remember that one summer where me and Chris kind of just stayed at your house.
yeah,
We just
yeah,
like we just lived there, like you know what I mean. Like I only went home like once a week just to check in on my
yeah,
mom, and and my mom was cool with it. She was like, "Where you going?" I was like, "Oh, going back. I'm going back to the boys' house." Okay, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It was normal. You know what I
And
mean? Like
then, dude, that's what I remember. Remember we got grounded. Remember, like, you guys weren't allowed over the house because we got grounded because my dad, remember he came, he was like, "I know you were smoking weed in the back. I smell it through my aircon." You guys got, like, banned from the house.
no, oh, dude, we were so young and we were just so like we were just so dumb, dude. Like we were just young. But I remember that time where we went to I think it was Michaela's house, Legaspi, and we took a picture on the truck like we were cool. And then I remember all I remember is your dad say he came up to me, he's like, were you standing on my truck? And I was like, no, no, no. And then he's like, what's this picture that was posted? I was like, oh, dang, I always thought your dad was a legit investigator, bro. I was like, how
Yeah,
the hell does this guy know?
bro. That guy knew everything, dude.
Yeah, yeah, he did. But what's crazy? He worked a lot too. I remember that, he when as he was coming up into the fire department, he worked a
Yeah.
lot. So it was always just literally your mom home, the two girls, and then all those boys were just out doing random stuff. And, I mean, that's all I remember, just it's just your dad worked a lot, and then eventually then we hang out with your grandpa sometimes.
Yeah.
Your grandma and before your grandma declined in her dementia, we would just hang out with your grandpa, like just downstairs with his bikes.
And there's a Arnold Schwarzenegger freaking giant poster, and it's the one that he was trying to get us into weightlifting. Bro, that guy was
Yeah.
a beast, dude. That guy was a beast for an old man for sure.
But it's crazy he mind his own business. I never really know what your grandpa been through. Like, he's been through a
Yeah.
lot, dude, but he minds his own business, you know what I mean? He doesn't I've never seen him like anything going on in the house on top, like, I never seen him butt into business. He just mind his own business, just chill.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I mean, he was a Vietnam vet too, so he has a lot of history there. So obviously, like now we know, right? Like growing up, being in the army or the fire department, whatever, doing police, right? Like we kind of see those signs of like PTSD, right? So
Mhm.
you would kind of like see some of those actions that like would click in him, you know?
Yeah. But
Like I remember,
his safe space was his bikes.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
a safe space, like, he just go downstairs and do it for hours, like, he'll disappear, and then we'll
yeah.
freak out, like, he'll come back upstairs and be like, "Oh, yeah, I was down there, changing the carburetor," like, "Bro, you don't even ride your" in my head, I'm like, "Dude, you don't even ride your bike, like,
Yeah,
you
he
don't
had some sick bikes though, that's for sure, though. Yeah,
he doesn't
he
ride it,
lived there, man.
he doesn't ride it, he just fix it." Like, "What are you fixing?" He said, "Well, I'm changing the carburetor." "Do you change that like 5 times?" Like, but but I figured like that was his thing. That was his thing. Like that's his safe spot, and he just goes down there just to chill. But like how was your childhood like growing up? I know you personally had it rough because I seen it. I've been there. No, no, let's go. I want to go Silahanya times when you guys moved to
Around that time,
Silahanya. Yeah.
that's so sitting on any time, like, let's talk about, like, my dad, right? Like you said, right? Like, hard worker, right? Provider, like, that guy was a grinder, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
bro, that guy, it was crazy, like, how
Your mom
you
wanted a
said, right?
car? Your mom wanted a car? Your mom got a
Yeah.
car. Like,
But even
that's
with
a
that, right, it was like that guy, like, master of all, right? Like, jack of all trades, right? Like, this guy just knew how to fix, like, everything, right? Something broke in the house, so he was the one fixing it, doing it, right? But, he's like a master mechanic. He was in the Army Guard. He's still, I think, in the Army Guard, and then he's a fire chief, if I'm not mistaken,
Santa
so,
Rita,
like
right? Down in Santa Rita with Ray?
yeah, yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's Camp Bloss Marines,
Oh, okay, so
so
he moved up?
yeah.
Okay.
Like, we don't like, we'll be honest in this, right? Like, we don't have a relationship, right? And that's the thing. But, there's some good and bad, right? There's good and bads. Like, as I get older, you know what I mean? Like, these things and these feelings that I have and the understanding of all this stuff. But, there's also a point too where it's like, you can love from far away, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, yeah, he was a grinder, man. Like, he did it all. He was like hardly there. He also had I heard about his story and like not too deep into it. He's never actually sat down and like, hey, this is what happened to me when I was a kid and all stuff. I would just like hear it from other people, right? And like I think the main thing, right, is like he was a very hard worker. He's very prideful. He'll give his shirt, his off his back to almost anybody. I think the thing was like trying to find the connection with us, right? It was like you would never hear like an "I love you" from him or like "I'm proud of you," right? Like, and that's something like I try and install in my kids, right? Have it show that love, right? Like make them feel comfortable, like coming to me and talking to me and expressing themselves because I don't know, right? Like what they're thinking,
You
what they're
weren't
going
shown
through.
that,
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't, and you talk about that not showing that affection and that love, like
It damages, bro.
yeah, but even with that, it was I had to deal with problems myself, right? Like it's really funny. I'm a lieutenant with the JBLM Fire Department, and my chief spoke to me, and we were talking about like how like I do well, like how I work so well under pressure, right? And the funny thing, he goes, "Kyle, you know why you work so well under pressure?" And he goes, "Trauma." And that's the thing, right? Like you have that fight or flight, right? You can go through all this trauma, you can use it in a positive way, and you can use it in a negative way, right? And I,
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned how to use that. Um, growing up, right, there was 8 of us, right? So, Zach was the oldest, right? So it's kind of like coming to Zach for these problems or trying to figure out like, damn, how do you get that girl? Or you know what I mean? Or like, how do you do this? Right? Like, hey bro, shave your fucking stomach and your pubes so you can look cool, right? You're like, God damn. You're like, "Oh, I should have did that. Now just growing more hair, man. What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But like, yeah, growing up, man, like I gotta say, like, I, dude, it was like he wasn't around, and when he was around, it felt like the military, right? Like, and you saw it, right? It was either military or it was abuse, right?
Yeah, the alcohol didn't it was bad.
Yeah, he drank a lot, and he used to play this game with us, right? Like for the Chamorros, we call it the Chaka, right? And right, or in English, the rat, or Charlie horse, however you want to say it, right? And there'd be times where he'd get drunk and like we'd defend, he'd beat us up, and he'd be like, "Oh, you're trying to fight me, blah blah blah." And we're like, "No, dude, this hurts."
Yeah, yeah.
And like I get like
'Cause
what he was.
we didn't I mean, as kids, like, growing up in on the island, and I always try to explain this to my friends, bro, it's like, we don't know what abuse is. We don't know what
Yeah.
that is because we don't you know what I mean? Like, hearing kids are like, "Oh my god, don't you hit me, I'm gonna call CPS." Like, we didn't know that. Like, we don't it
Yeah,
wasn't a
because the
thing.
culture, right? The culture on Guam, right? It's family first, right? Like family, like that way I see it on the culture of Guam is like family can do no wrong, right? Like whatever problems family have or deal with, like that's behind closed doors, right? Like you don't talk about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't show it. You don't make your family look bad and all this stuff, right? But I mean, there comes a part in your life where you're like, and that's what they called me, right? Like I was basically the rebel, right? Like every time I said something, every time I opened my mouth, right, there was always like, "Oh, you think you're a man? You think like you're gonna go do this? You're a man. You think and it's like that whole man thing like stuck to my head, right? Like it's like, no, I'm not trying to be like a man, right? Like I'm just trying to tell you like this wrong. you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Hitting your kids because you're pissed off or whatever. And like, I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes I am glad, right? Like I'm glad I kind of like grew up like that because I feel like that's what shaped me, right? Like kind of gave me those rough edges and like dude, like even when I trained jujitsu, like bro, there's this sturdiness in me, right? Like you jam your head into my head and all that. I'm just like, do it some more, you know what I mean? Like they
Yeah.
don't bother me. But yeah, it was rough, man. Like I hardly talk about it. I'll tell you right now that like Dex, like it's a very rough situation for me. It's I would say it's kind of messed up to the point where like I call my dad my birther now, right? Like we have such a bad relationship, and I'm trying to change that with my kids, right?
I
Like
was
I said,
gonna, yeah, and that's where I was gonna. My question was, I was gonna ask you, like, do you see yourself from those trauma, like your kids, because I know you have girls and you have boys. Like, do you see yourself reverting to your dad sometimes, and then you have to like pull back and be like, whoa, that's not
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what? That's like a very big thing, right? Like that goes into my head, right? And so like I don't spank my kids, right? Like I did one time, like very long time ago, and I just felt so bad, And um, excuse me. My father-in-law, speaking of like father figures, right? Like, cause that was like what I felt growing older was getting these like having these father figures to me, right? Because I felt like I didn't have that growing up in my life. And even up till now, man, like there's always like a mentor for me or somebody that's influencing me to be better,
Yeah,
right?
I met your father-in-law twice. Twice I met him. Dude, good dude, man. Like,
Yeah.
awesome dude.
Yeah, man. And blessed soul, right? Like I miss him so much. He passed away very young off of a motorcycle accident. And meeting him really changed the way I saw things, right? Like he was, I remember like,
You stayed with him
why?
for a while, right?
Yeah, I stayed with him at 18. Actually, I would say 17, 18 years old because I moved out of my parents' house. I was staying with my Auntie T and my Uncle Chris for a minute, and my Auntie Gail, and they took care of me. And then it was funny, like, I would go over on the weekends, they would have Sunday dinners at my wife's house, and I would just, like, stay there, clean up and all that stuff, and, like, every once in a while, my father-in-law would be like, "Hey, just go in and sleep here tonight," you know what I mean? Because it would be late, and then eventually one day he was like, "Hey, do you wanna live here?" And from then on, it was just, like, another father figure to me, he taught me, like, if something bad happened, we squash it automatically, or if you're in conflict and somebody wants to fight with you or whatever, like walk away, man. Like just be the bigger person. And I had to learn that the hard way, right? Like because we're so ingrained, right? Especially with how we grew up, right? Like let's fight, let's beat up everybody. Oh yeah, you want to stare at me the wrong way? Like it's funny, right? Like you and Lorenzo, like the worst too, right? High school, one person gives you the wrong look, you're swinging, dude.
Bro, yeah, dude. Putting me and that guy in the same room together is bad, bro. Cause like
Yeah,
I like to tease people, and then he'll like to tease people, and then
yeah.
someone gets mad at us, and then we're like trying to fight them. Like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's he man, and but yeah, I remember when my wife got pregnant, the one thing that really got in my head, right, when my wife got pregnant, I like wasn't doing anything. And instead of getting mad, what my father told me, he just goes straight up. He goes, like, no, like just in the calmest way, he goes, "What's your plan?" And for me it was like, damn, like here I am thinking like this dude's gonna like just blast me to the wall and all this shit, right? And like, and it's just like, damn, this is different, right? Like, this makes me think, And one time too, I remember like, me and my sister in law was so funny. Me and my sister in law, she didn't really like me from in the beginning, right? And like, every year we have our arguments and stuff. And I remember my father-in-law telling me too, he's like,
She was a tough cook. Like her personality was it's either she likes you or she don't like you. And
yeah, I was used to,
I went high school with her. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So it was
and it's funny,
I never talked to her because I just like see her in the hallway like in passing, and I like these I knew you, and then you know what I mean. I was like, okay, cool. I'll just integrate myself. Like, hi, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Just hi. And me and Lorenzo will just do that. We'll just say hi to her and pass by, and she'll say hi, But yeah, she's like that though. Like she likes you or she don't.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
and
know what
and,
I mean?
I remember, like, we got into an argument and my father-in-law, like, I was heated, and same thing, he goes, "Hey, Kyle," he goes, He goes, "Hey, calm down." He goes, "If you're gonna get," he goes, "'cause if you get mad, then I'm gonna get mad. It's not gonna be a good day," you know? And it's stuff like that, right? Like these little things, right? These little like it's almost like a lesson being taught without even being taught, right? And I think about these things coming back to it, right? Like, man, like my dad was hardcore. Like, people know my dad, right? Like, dude, that giant ass, like one wrong blow and you're probably knocked out, right? Like, he was a huge guy. He's still a huge ass guy, right? But like I said, with him, it was like for someone who knew lots of things, like maybe like I said, I haven't talked to him. Maybe in his head, right? Like maybe in his head, it was like, I'm trying to do my best, but I don't got time, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like trying to balance that life, right? Like work, family, right? How are we gonna survive the day today, or how am I gonna provide for my family, right? And I saw it, like I saw those things growing up. Like, was I perfect too? No, but I was also a kid, I was a kid growing up trying to like figure out my own life, and when things hit the fan, like I just felt like he wasn't there, you know.
yeah.
My stepmom is my stepmom, like, I can't, like, even she had her bad, like, it was bad with her too. I'm not saying all of the times were bad and times weren't good, but a lot of the memories that I have were just I think about them now, especially that I have my own family, like, what can I do to be better for my kids? Like, I'm very open with my kids, especially my daughter. My daughter's my oldest, and I think when you try and hide these things, and you can't hide them anymore too, especially because media is so available to everybody. You can't put them in a dark room and say, "Hey, this is not going to happen," right?
Yeah, but our kids are
And
smart
so,
though to pick that up though from our
yeah,
habits.
yeah, super smart. They pick up everything, right? And my mother-in-law too, she sends me videos too, and there was one video she sent me, which and it makes sense, and I do it already with my daughter, right? But the things that you say are gonna carry them, right? Like, imagine like all the time, like, no, you're doing this wrong. You can't do this, you can't do that, right? Like, why not? Right? Like, I think that's my thing too, is like where I get why I am the way I am like that too, is like I challenge these things now because of the way that I grew up, right?
Yeah.
Like why are you hurting me, or why are you hurting? Like, why are you doing this, right? And some people get, right, like they're like, oh, there's no stupid questions and there's no this, and I'm just like, I mean, there kind of is, but you also got to ask those questions because I live by one of those quotes, right? A closed mouth don't get fed, right? Like,
Yeah, dude, 100%.
yeah. How am I gonna know, right? How am I gonna know? I can't read your mind, right? And I think I think that's the part of like growing up and becoming more mature, right? Is like figuring these things out, right? And questioning yourself. And I read this like this is like science thing, whatever it is, but right, the more you tell your brain to do something, right, it rewires it, right? Like it's almost like when you're scared of something, right? But you're like, okay, let's have the courage to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I can do it. I can do it. And then as soon as you feel like you can do it, there's two things, right? That fight or flight. Then you back off and you're like, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, it's cool. These podcasts, like your podcast, right? It's cool. I'm super cool. Like happy, like seeing this girl. Cause I watch a bunch of podcasts. I just watched one with Matthew McConaughey
Yeah,
and
yeah. Dude, that one his ones are good. Like he's there's no BS on that. Like he's
yeah.
real about it.
And there's one thing that I took from him that I was like, that made sense, and it was like his dad used to tell him like he couldn't say the word "I can't," right? Like, and that's how I take that into life, right? Is like it's either you can do it or you just need help, right? Like my daughter, it's so funny, right? Like thinking like this girl knows how to open up a door, right, with a key. It's the most simple thing, right? Or my son, he's like trying to unlock the door. He's like, I can't, Dad, I can't, And so I'm there and I'm like, you can. I'm like, give it a try, keep going, and then he finally opens it and it's like, you know what I mean? You can do it, right? I mean, it could be other things, right? And I just use that example, but it's like you can do it or you need help, there's
And
someone
that's
always
where I'm
there.
at. Yeah, and that's where I'm at too with my my two step kids is that now that I integrated myself in their life, and their father's still around, but I give them that love that's like, "Yo, dude, like, if you're gonna say you're gonna do something, I'm gonna support it, but if you quit, just know that you're not gonna quit because 'cause I'm not gonna make you quit. You're gonna continue because this is you gotta be a man of your word, and you have to push through with whatever your make your yes be your yes, and your no's be your no."
Yeah.
and make
You
a
know,
decision, you know?
I'd have to go with back with you with that, like, a little bit, right? I've kinda done that too, and there are some times where you do have to, like, right? But I think also too, another thing that I'm very big on now is, right, like, is, like, letting them be kids, right? Like, I think we're so, like I said, like, we're so, like, driven, right? And I that's what I love about you guys, right? Like, I love about you, right? Like, I see your stuff, I see what you do, right? And you're very, like, goal driven, right? And I think we relate in that way, right? Where we set our
Yeah.
goals and we're like, hey, we're gonna meet that goal. We're gonna meet that goal. And that's great. But I think too, right? Like sometimes too, like sometimes we do, right? We get really hard on our kids, right? And we're like, you know,
My
we
thing is
get
I
really,
learn brother, I learn to make when they bring something towards me, like ask me about, like they wanna do something like my one of, that oldest Jaden, he asked me, he's like, "I wanna do soccer." So what do you think? We put him in soccer, but it's 3 times a week, and then he still has school. And then it started getting hard because he's trying to balance school and soccer, and I told him, I said, there's consequences to your action." That's what I mean by make your yes be your yes, your no's be your no,
yeah,
because like this is what you wanted to do. I told you how your lifestyle is gonna be, and then I told him that I told him I said I'm gonna support you 100%, but if you fail yourself, I will not allow you. I won't fail you. If you fail yourself, you fail yourself, but I'm not gonna allow you to fail because I'm gonna hold you accountable all the time to your decision. Because I always try to teach the my kids that your decision has consequences, and I'm trying to raise them because face it, we made a lot of decisions in our lives that probably set us back like 3, 4 times all the time.
yeah,
And then when we finally made right decisions, we just stick with our decision. If we had to wake up at 4 in the morning to go to work, we wake up at 4 in the morning to go to work. But what's the consequences of waking up late? You're not gonna be on time, you're gonna have a rough day, things are not gonna go well.
yeah.
And I teach
Yeah,
them like,
no,
you know.
I get your point there. I like that, right? Like I use that all the time. So there's that same thing, that accountability, right? Like use that for even with the guys at work, right? Like you're accountable for your actions, right? But I just like I was saying, like going on that, it's just like at the same time too, is like sometimes, right, we also forget, right? Like we also forget that
Yeah,
they're kids, right?
we do, yeah, we
And
do.
so sometimes, you know, I catch myself doing that sometimes too. I'm like, oh man, like, you know, like today, right? Like today, 3 o'clock is my daughter's first it's their like takedown jamboree for wrestling. And you know, like me, I'm very like hardcore, like, ah, you better win, you better do this, right? And like I joke around with her, right? But like I could care less whether she wins or not, right? And me and my friend were talking about because he's like coaching her too. But yeah, he's like, dude, he's like, just remember, he's like, bro, this ain't like a championship, right? Like this ain't like he's like, let her have fun. Yeah, she's going out there, you know what I mean? Don't get so worked up, right? Because like they had no school on Veterans Day, and so she wanted her friend to come over, and I was like, hey, I was like, if you guys are gonna come over, we'll just go open mat and just like come train, you know. And I told him
Yeah,
about it. He's like, dude, he's like, just let them relax. He's like, of course they're not gonna care about it. They're kids, you know.
yeah,
All right, you know. So yeah, that's my only thing, and it's just kind of to just remembering, right? Like remembering that, man, like you know, there's a lot of things like we had to grow up fast, right? Like you
yeah.
know, you think about it, like we grew up fast, dude. You know, you know, you see it now with the generation that we have, right? It's like you wonder, you're like, was I like a like that back in the day, right? Like was I that bad? You're like, Jesus Christ, dude.
I think we were worse, man. Like I said, we had no like, we had no like left and right limits. Man, we're kids walking from the village all the way down to another village. Like, dude, that's
Yeah,
like, cars are passing by main roads. Like it is what it is. Like we did that. But let's go back, bro. Like, so your relationship with your dad's like dwindled, and then all the traumas you had to work with, right? Coming into a young adult, but you had your father-in-law to kind of guide you and help you with your anger and your structure to have structure because you're having a kid now.
yeah,
Now let's talk about let's get to that segment of your life where your firstborn being born and you're still dealing with this trauma.
yeah.
You know,
So you know, like before I get into that, like you know, I was before I was living with I found out there was my auntie teen, my uncle Chris, and my auntie Gail. Like they were such a big influence in my life too. You know, they
All good
Don't
people,
sound right.
all good
Yeah,
people, man,
yeah,
like
all great people. Yeah, and you know them, like, right? We run the Youth for Youth Live, right? Drug free organization. Though we were kind of pretty bad for being in a in a positive area, right? Like, oh, there's a and you know what's so funny, right? Like they called us the Osmoff family, and your guys' dumbasses were a part of the Osmoff family, anyways.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, oh, there goes those guys again. But
You know, it's
yeah,
crazy.
no, they
I actually ran into Uncle Chris last year when I went to Guam, and he asked me because he said he's going back to Ranger School, and I said I gave him everything, like because I just finished Ranger School 2 years, about almost 3 years now, and I said I gave him everything I had. And I said, hey, just go, you know. And that guy's driven, bro. He's always been
yeah,
a
man,
driven guy, you
bro,
know,
that
to do
guy.
something.
He's the one that got me to join the army, you know? Like, bro, that guy used to make me run from, holy crap, Astumbo all the way to GPO, dude. I'm like, bro, this is nuts, dude. Like, but he's the one that actually got me in the army. But it's funny, like he got me in the job I didn't think I'd be in when he was like, yeah, boy, join the infantry. They do everything. I'm like, and when I got to basic training, I was like, God damn, dude, like what the hell did I get myself into? Yeah, going back to having my daughter, right, and all this trauma that was going on. It was actually funny. I was deployed in Afghanistan when my daughter gave birth. Like, I had to actually watch my wife give birth through, it was either FaceTime or Skype, one of them.
That was 2013, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so when I came back, she was 8 months old, 9 months
yeah,
old.
yeah,
And, yeah, man, like, it was such a obviously, right, it was such a different world, right? Because at first, right, my daughter doesn't know who I am, right? Like, as a baby, right, she sees everybody and then she freaks out because I'm holding her, right? And you're just like, you feel like, right? Because you're like, God damn, like, you know what I mean? That's my baby, you know? Uh, Coming back, right, it obviously, like, the change of routine, right? Like, bro, you're there, like, you just work out, do your mission, come back, do the same thing all over again. It was like no care in the world, right? Like where it came to a point, there were days where it's like, man, I want to go back, you know, like
it was just
I don't want,
simple
yeah,
life.
yeah, simple life, right? Like I don't have to worry about anything, you know. But coming back, you know, it was very good. It was great actually because my I was staying with my in-laws and my wife, and they're very, like, good with my daughter, like, man, like, my daughter was so close to my father-in-law, you know?
Yeah.
Every time he would ride his bike, like, she'd hear the bike come outside, she'd, like, run to the screen door and be like, "Oh, papa's home," you know what I mean? Like, so, she took it really hard, you know, even though she was young, she remembers when he passed away. The trauma, like, everything there was just, like it was a different me, right? Like I was angry for some reason, like irritated all the time. Like I just didn't know, like I guess you could say like PTSD, right? Like that's another thing, right? That we don't talk about, right? I probably had PTSD before I had PTSD, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, no, real. That's a real talk.
like, yeah, you're like growing up through trauma. Like I've had trauma since I was freaking like 7 years old. Like I have memories from like way back when I was living here in Washington with my real mom. You know, like, that shit you shouldn't have to remember as a kid. Like I have these memories like clearly, right? And I won't like go too crazy into that, but yeah, it was just like adjusting the lifestyle, right? Especially like having a new kid. And now it was like, man, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like I quit my job and then my wife is the one that was actually working at the time. And the goal was always to get into fire. So I was just trying to like do what I could to survive. And, you know, thankful for my in-laws, like helped us along the way, like such a big help. And that's why I feel it's so great, like to like, when you can and you have family to help you out, like, it's always great, right? Like, here, it's hard too, because like, sometimes it's like, "Dude, like, fuck, how are we gonna do this?" Like, I need somebody to take the kids, and, like, especially where I'm at, like, I don't trust anybody, like, taking my kids, like, hiring a driver to go take my kids to school and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Like, and I get, like, people get paid for that, but, yeah, I don't trust that shit, like, at all. Yeah, I'd say the trauma was there, but it wasn't really something that it was more of, like, how am I gonna be a better father and a supporter to my family, right? Like, I
yeah,
was more worried about that, and nothing really, like, clicked into me, right? And, like, you know, my wife, man, she's, like, the biggest supporter for me, you know? Like, I do some dumb she's always there, you know? And, like, for real, you know, it's like, I have a hobby, she's like, "You know what? Let's I'll support this hobby," right? Like, when the fuck yeah, it's always funny, She's like, "God damn, what side quest are you doing today?" You know?
Dude, you know what's so crazy? My wife is the same way, bro. Like, I come home, I have this great idea, and she's like, "All right, I guess we're getting into that." Like, you know what I mean? And that's cool, man. And then how did the passing of your father-in-law impact you? Like, in a way where did something click in you after his passing where it just like, dude, I have to man up now. Like I have to be the foundation of this
You
family.
you know what's the craziest story? Like, some people might not believe me, but bro, this was like the wildest thing to like ever happen. Like, I just got hired for Navy police, and I just got doing my the mace training.
I forgot about
And
that.
and so I got done with the mace training, and, Bree was the GM for IHOP,
Mhm.
and, I remember they did a soft opening, and they invited us over there, and bro, it's crazy. I'm like, I'm not even like, it was the most fucking weird thing ever to happen to me, and we go and we eat dinner, and we go, the girl after we're done eating dinner, the girls wanted to go to Ross, and so, my father was like, yeah, he's like, yeah, I don't want to go to Ross. He's like, just take me home. I was like, yeah, cool. I was like, well, I'll go home. And so I take him home, and bro, the last thing he says to me, I'm not even lying, out the car, he goes, hey, I'm proud of you. He goes, take care of my daughter and my grandbaby. And that was the last thing I heard from us. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, I think about it till this day, and I'm like, how does that happen? He tells me that, and then it's crazy. The next morning, right? Like, we all get ready to go to work. Like, I say bye to them. I see my mother-in-law, my father-in-law goodbye, tell my wife goodbye, and then go to work. And then like I'm in training, and now I get this phone call. And I'm like, dude, do they keep calling? Why do they keep calling? So I finally like get out of the training. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And so my wife's like, dad's in the hospital. I'm like, what? And so like, bro, I go to the hospital, and I was so mad because it felt like a movie, dude, like a dream. My wife's running out to me, and she's like, he's dead. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I need to see him. And they're like, they won't let anybody see him. You have to go pick up Key, my sister-in-law. And so, bro, like, I had to go pick up my sister-in-law and tell my sister-in-law, like, "Hey, dad's dead." And, like, she's, like, screaming and crying in the car. I'm, like, driving to the hospital, and, like, bro, I didn't get to see my father-in-law until the viewing, and I was really pissed about that because I wanted to see him, and like I said, like, the last thing he said to me, bro, like, how.
Thing that you craved in your own father
Yeah, yeah,
was said
yeah,
to
yeah,
you.
yeah,
That
I
is
mean, and
wild.
that's the thing, yeah, and it's like, dude, like, and I think about it to this day, I'm like, dude, like, and every time, like, these actions, decisions that I make, right, like, I'm not perfect, man, like, I've up, like, I did some bad shit, I almost lost my wife, almost lost my kids, there was a time where that happened, and every time it happened or something happened, like, it always came back to me, right, like, that one thing he said to me, like, I'm not perfect. I had my fair share of just evil and shit, right? Like, there's a whole different me. Like, where is this guy coming from? And I'm blessed, super blessed that I have such a supportive wife and somebody who's like still here for me because, I tell my wife sometimes too, and like, we're such in a good place right now, and we weren't before, but like, I get that feeling, like, because if that was me, like, I don't think I could do it again. You know what I mean? I don't think I could forgive, and I don't think I could do this.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, I obviously, right, I never would want that to happen. Like, I don't never want that to happen to anybody, right? Like,
Yeah.
but eventually, you're right, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, right? And so, I guess, like, just maturing and growing older and, like, his words and all of the things that he's taught me, even without teaching me, right? But just thinking back on a lot of these times, it's like, man, like this guy was such a big influence in my life. Like I can't like you said, like it was something that I was missing.
I think he met you at an emotional level, and that's where a man to meet another man at an emotional level is a very powerful and spiritual thing, man. Like, and that your father-in-law, that's what he did for you, and this is where you're at right now, like taking care of
Yeah.
handling business. You have hard times, you just look back and like everyone has hard times. I'm gonna just continue to push forward. You know what I mean? And that's something I faced too. And my struggle was because getting raised by a single mom, and then
Yeah,
my mom passing away. I was like, I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't know what to do. Just I moved to California off of random. Like I just was like, I'm going to California. So I just moved to California from Georgia, and that period of time, that 2 months period, I was just like, I didn't wanna talk to nobody. I just wanna just stay here in my little corner, you know?
yeah.
And then, I had my mentor, Brandon Fafita. He's from the island too. He's, Tongan. He hit me up, and he always hit me up, and, I moved from California because I got a AGR job with the National Guard Bureau in, Camp Atterbury, Indiana, and I moved in with, my mentor, He's my mentor, my brother. And this guy mentored me, bro, emotionally to stay calm in situations because like I was just losing myself, bro. And but he met me in a more spiritual level of understanding of life and people, which to this day, like I'm on my own now because he's still in Indiana. I just moved to Denver. I'm 9 months here, and now I'm integrated with the kids, with my wife. We have a schedule, and the way we talk to each other is different. I usually my ex-wife, I used to talk to her crazy, you know what I mean? But because I didn't know better. I didn't have a father growing up, and but now my wife now, it's more nurturing, Now I have my daughter too, it's more nurturing, you know what I mean? It's more like, "Okay, I get you're frustrated. You're not frustrated at me. You're frustrated at the situation. How can we fix it? What's the solution Because if you get mad, I get mad. It's just we're just gonna start butting heads. But
Yeah.
like I said, my mentor meeting me at a spiritual level, bro, that's where I grew. I grew spiritually within myself so that that trauma can kind of it's still there, but it's more contained and I'm more understanding and aware of it, So what your father-in-law did for you, bro, is like that's huge, bro. That's like not a lot of people can get that. You know what I mean?
There's man, there's been a lot, bro. I'll tell you that. Like, there's so many mentors. Like Uncle Eric, right? Like, Uncle E from Jiu-Jitsu, right? Omar, Tarrant, right? Like these guys, like Josh, right? Like Josh Santos from Vita, right? Like
Mhm.
man, like even though like, love Josh and the family to death, right? Those guys, the hard knocks boys, right? But like for some like Josh always like I always could connect with Josh. And like there was a lot of mentors, right? Like people from the fire department. I can name many names and just like recently now, there's this guy, he just retired, Sean Harding, man, dude, super big influence in my life. Another guy, Jason Choi, like these guys, man, like, dude, took me in when I came here, you know what I mean? Was like, hey, like, I heard about you, like, we're gonna get you where you need to be. And I mean, dude, like, this guy, like, not saying like I didn't get my promotion, right? Because I was like, "Oh, he did this and did that, right?" But
Hey,
like,
bro, it's a Guam thing.
man,
It's all right. You knew who you knew.
yeah, yeah, shit. I mean, I think about it, right? Like, dude, coming out here, like for real, like, I've been there for 4 years, and within the 2 years, I got promoted, right? Like, and so far, I feel like I've made a statement for myself, like a name for myself out here, and um, doing pretty good. Like, I feel like I've gotten the respect from my guys, and it's been good, man. It's been like I enjoy Washington. I enjoy where I work. Do I enjoy the area I live? No, but
We can't have it all, right? We can't
yeah,
have it
yeah,
all.
can't have it all. Yeah, but it keeps the kids humble, right? It's bad when your son's crossing down the street and you hear gunshots and he's like, "I'm too young to die." I'm like, buddy, you're only 9 years old. But
I would have said like, thank God, I'm a EMT, man. Thank God I know how to do that.
dude, yeah. But yeah, man, you're right, Ray. Like I think a lot of the things too is like and that's how I see it now, right? Like we're trying to build that legacy and that nurturing and love because of the things that we didn't have, right? Like right? Like we talk about it and we're like, man, this happened and this happened, and it's like, well, shit. I don't want that to happen for my kids. I want them to be there. I want them to feel comfortable with me. I want to tell them every day, hey, I'm fucking proud of you, man. I fucking love you, right? Like these little words, they make such a huge fucking difference, right?
It
Like it
does.
like I said, it's so funny, right? Like it sounds like I don't want to put it out there, but it sounds like weird, right? Like you watch a movie and you're like, it's like some father figure and stuff, and you're like, you start to get emotional because you're like, fuck, like, damn, I still got like you can tell you have that trauma, right? You're like, damn, like I wish my dad fucking did that for me, or wish
Yeah.
he did it, and I'm not like here to talk bad about my dad, right? Like I'm not here to
Well,
like
your part of your trauma, your trauma and your past makes you who you are today,
That's what I'm saying,
you
right? Like, I
know?
get, like, where he's at, right? And my thing, like, I heard, right, like, from him is that, like, it's just how I am, or that's me, or that's why he doesn't want to talk, whatever. We have, like, right, like, the Chamorro traditions of, like, they're supposed to contact you, and they're supposed to make the work, and blah, blah, blah. Bro, if my son, I haven't talked to my son for, like, years, and he didn't go out of his way for me, I will do everything in my power to call him up and be like, "Hey, what's going on, dude? Like, what the fuck?" You know what I mean? Like, you tell me what's going on. Is there something, you know what I mean? And we're not gonna be perfect, right?
No.
You can try and be the perfect dad. You can maybe raise them right and do all these things, and they might go fuck backwards, right? But I think like as long as you're there and as long as you're like giving them that support and telling them every day, hey, I love you, I'm here for you, I'm proud of you, I support you, like all that shit that we didn't have, right? Like, dude, that's what I feel like that's gonna pass on now to the next generation or our grandkids, and be like, damn, like we broke the cycle, right? Like we broke that cycle, and hopefully, even though maybe they may have their marital problems or get divorced or whatever, they're still there. You know what I mean? They're not.
So after that, like, what prompts you to? Because what prompted you to move to the States? Because you were doing
So
good. You were doing really good in Guam. Like I mean, you were doing good, but I mean, there's a lot of drama in the island.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
what I mean,
Always there's
there's
always
the
fucking
gym,
drama in the island, bro.
the gym drama. There's always the gym drama. There's always the work drama.
The
There's
love drama,
wait,
the
wait, wait,
life drama.
the family drama. There's always drama, right? And what I've known about you is, brother, is you're not one to back down. If someone called you
Yeah.
out, you're gonna say something like, "What?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you say? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I think for me, right, it's like I would say like, bro, I'm a fucking dreamer, man. Like dude, like when I want to put my wife tells me about it too, or like even when she watches me teach class, like jujitsu or fire, like, I have friends too, where they're like, God damn, Kyle, like you go from the coolest guy to the most scared, like intimidating dude, right? And it's, my wife, we talk about it's being passionate, right? Like passionate about the things that you love and you do, right? Yeah, I was doing great, bro. Like
You're thriving.
I was I was doing good in fire. I did like doing good in my jujitsu, doing bread. Like, bro, the
Hmm.
bread was insane, right? Like it went from a
We're gonna get
like
to that. We're gonna
yeah,
get to
like
that.
that. So like all of that stuff, like what I think what drove me to move out here is like I said, is like I'm a dreamer, man. My cap, like I said, mentors, right? My cap gave me two options. He said, Kyle, what do you want to do? He's like, do you want to be an officer and get your ones, or do you want to get your ARF certs, which is your aircraft firefighter? You know what I mean? Or do you want to get out of here? And I was like, you know what, Cap? I was like, I think I want to get out of here. Because that was always the plan. Like I wanted, my work offers these things like Italy, Spain, all these other places, but it's like, dude, like fuck, like that's a dream, man. Like, we talk about it, stuff that we only read in the books, and like
Yeah,
I have my
yeah.
kids, it's like if I bring them out there and they get to experience the world, I mean, it was great enough already that bro, like, Japan was basically in my second home, you know what I mean? I was constantly going there. Des made me live there, you know what I mean? Like just to do jujitsu, bro. She was like whole ass like 7 months pregnant. She's like, you know what? Just go out and live there and just do jujitsu. I was like, God damn, for real? But yeah, I think that's the thing, man. I've always been like a dreamer and like goal driven. Like I knew what I wanted to be, and I knew what I wanted to do. And I'd say like my dad was one of those inspirations, right? Like, bro, I saw this guy, bro. This guy was a grinder, dude. Like
Yeah, dude.
did
He
this
wanted a
job.
house. He wanted a house. He got a house. He wanted a
Yep.
car. He got a car. He wanted a bike.
Yeah.
He got a bike. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
your dad. Your dad
he
always
was a
produced.
grinder, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, and and when I saw that, I was like, dude, that guy's a hard
but in
worker.
his own way, he had his thing. Like I said, I remember one time your mom's Durango, the blue one.
Yeah, dude.
I remember it broke down, and your dad literally the next day off the lot, new car. Then after that, like your dad's like, oh no, you know what? This house is too small. We need a new house. After that, like 3 months later, boom, moving down to Talafofo.
Yeah.
Then he's like, oh man, I want a big smoker.
Yeah.
You got a big. I'm saying, like, it's crazy, bro. Like your dad. Yes, he had his bad side of his anger and the way he loved you guys. The one thing that I see in all of you guys, even in Steve, even in Barrett, even in in you
Yeah.
guys all grind your own
Yeah.
way. But you got that's literally from your dad, because like you guys are hard workers. Like Barron's doing the whole counter drug thing, in Guam, doing
Well,
really
he's
well.
in the fire now, dude. He
Oh,
just
I
did the
see.
academy.
I
Yeah.
can't, because he trains at Figu now,
Yeah.
and I can't keep up with him. But I didn't know that. That's good. I mean, he's in
Yeah.
the fire, and then Steve-O just made 6, and he's
Yeah.
with his wife in Kansas City. God bless that guy. He's right there next to me. Doesn't even cover. We're gonna get to that freaking guy. You know what I mean? And Karina, I kind of, I don't know what Karina's doing right
Yeah.
now, but Karina grinds in her own way too. And she's always been curious about the world too. Like
Yeah, but
about
even like
you
yeah,
know
and you're right, right? Like, bro, I'm proud of all these guys, man. Like, it sucks that we don't
No,
talk
no,
as
no. Sorry,
much.
sorry. Karina, I was following Karina at one point, and she was doing baking and stuff, like cooking and,
Yeah,
and baking and stuff. And then I remember talking to DLG, and I was like, "Hey, you guys gonna move back to Guam?" And then he was like, "No, Karina doesn't want to move back to Guam. She wants to stay here in the States," which I don't blame her. And her and DLG doing their own thing over there, thriving, taking care of their family and their boy.
yeah,
But all you guys have the similarities of working hard.
yeah.
Not
And that's
one
what
of
I'm
you,
saying. Like,
you
I can
know.
like bouncing back to that, right? It's like, yeah, I think that's one thing that I've picked up from him, right? Is that grind and that hard like working attitude, right? Like, it ain't gonna come fucking easy, right? Like,
No,
I think with all the things that we go through, and I always think about that now, right? Is like there's nothing that I haven't been through that I can't get through,
100%.
And there are gonna come times where it may be worse than others, but you're just gonna have to find a way to bounce back from that, right?
So where are you at in the fire department right now? Where's your headspace in the fire department? I know the government shutdown's kind of holding back your plans, but where are you
Yeah.
going with that now?
So right now, the fire department here, man, I love this department, man. Very good. There's one thing like I appreciate about this department is I feel like they also appreciate me, right? Like they see the work that I do, things that I am doing, and they praise it and they award it, right? Like I said, I've been here for 4 years. I got promoted as a lieutenant within 2 years, and then I'm working on my search for a captain, but right now because of the whole shutdown and the freezes and everything, there's like no really upward mobility here, but I'm still always trying to stay ready for that next promotion, right? So right now, for what the future holds for me is that I got a job offer to Spain now, which is another goal that I've been able to achieve. And so I'm just waiting for the travel orders for the government shutdown to end so I can start making my way out there. And then, like I said, like I keep these goals with me, right? So just because I'm getting to Spain, it's not the end for me, right? My end goal is to actually retire in Japan because you can also get stationed in Japan. So if I can get there, that's where I'm probably gonna most likely end up if I can.
I like that,
So
bro.
yeah, yeah, man. It's been good, bro. The fire is fire, right? Like you do the same job and stuff. It's just being out here. I like out here because we get to do more than I would do back home, right? Like we run the freeway. Like, bro, I remember like coming on the freeway for the first time. Like, obviously, like in the army and stuff, like I've gone on the freeway, but it was never like driving on it, or it was either like the bus taking us or just us going through stuff. But goddamn, like as soon as I was like, oh, you're driving on the freeway, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like taking the wrong turn. So like, where the hell am I at?
This I'm like, hey, this fire truck better have insurance, bro,
Yeah.
because if I turn and I hit something. So you're thriving now in the fire department. You're making a name for yourself, and you're excelling in the fire department. Which, man, that's like no brainer. You are who you are. You're gonna make an impact anything. So how about your side business, man, with your cooking and your baking?
So baking.
Because I remember when you used to cook some stuff that didn't make sense, and it tastes
Yeah.
like it tastes trash. You're like, oh, let's just mix this. Let's go mix this. Oh, I saw how to do this, and then like, ugh, I'm like, nah. But then you kind of grew, and then like that's your second. And a lot of people don't know that. Like you're a good cook now. You cook a lot, and then you bake too. You
Oh
know?
yeah, dude. The business right in here, we don't really do it. We make stuff for family now, but we weren't like really kind of like dedicated to it. Just because, right, like same thing, focusing on the career. And then out here it's a little bit harder, right? Like we could get the name out and we can do the things. Like I guarantee, right, like same thing, right? I put my mind to it, I could probably like get it going. But just with the whole making it the house and then deliveries, right? Like 30 to an hour now because where people live now, right? It's not like a 5 minute drive to again a shopping center, right? So we weren't like really focused on it. But I'll tell you what, though, I cook like a motherfucker. Like I'm still the station cook at the goddamn fire station, bro. Those motherfuckers make me cook everything, dude. I'm like, goddamn, bro. But no, it's good, man. Like, yeah, that's another dream. Like, that's like a little side dream. I'm like, oh, maybe when I'm like an old ass man, I'll open up a little food truck and sell some wicked ass food. For now, I'm more driven into my career.
I like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's something on the back burner, right? Like, right, the hustle, right? Like, if I need to hustle, fuck, I'm gonna hustle, right? Like, if we need extra money, I'm gonna do that, right? I think that's like, it's like back home, right? When you're in high school being poor, it's like, hey, bro, can I borrow $1?
Just know you're not getting it back.
Yeah, you're never giving me back that fucking dollar. Oh man,
Mm.
dude. But like speaking of that, bro, I remember like, bro, we were so bad, dude. I remember we would always wait for the fucking lady that dropped the masubis and stuff at 5 o'clock in the morning and would unlock the box and we go steal all the masubis and empanadas at the mom and pop store.
Bro, I forgot about that. I remember, and it was across Jerome Afflegui's house.
Yeah, I was across Jerome's house, bro. We wait there, we stalk them every fucking morning behind their wall. Be like, oh, they didn't lock the box, they didn't lock the box. And we'll come take the fucking masubis.
So you're just putting that right now on hold and focusing on your
Yeah.
fire career. That's cool. How about where you at with jujitsu, man? Like where you at there?
So jujitsu, where I'm at.
I can't keep up with you because like you're at one gym and then you go to another gym and then I'm just like, but
Well,
that's cool. That's cool about here. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that's cool.
Well, so the thing about here, right? When I first got here, right, it's just like anything else, right? Like, I mean, even back home, right? Like, it's finding your home, right? Like, like back in the day, right? Like, dude, like, I remember like being like a kid and all that stuff, and like people like trash us for like going to another gym and like basically read the
Hey,
Brazilian word
you
outside.
didn't ask permission.
Yeah. And so they would like here it was the same thing, right? Like trying to find my way, right? Like and I'm not gonna lie, like bro, to be honest, like I think like the cool thing about it is that me going to these different gyms has like improved my jujitsu like dramatically, right? Because even if you're learning the basics, there's always that one little detail that somebody will add and you're like, oh shit, like that just like turned up my jujitsu like 10
Yeah.
times better, you know? And so like here when I got here was kind of like finding my home. I started off at a couple gyms. Some of them were a little bit too far away. And then also too with the competition, right? Like competing, right? Especially being a black belt, like a black belt from Guam, like it's so
Dude,
frustrating, right?
dude.
Because the IBJJF wants you to have all these certain things and all this stuff, and you're just like, bro, like I'm fucking legit. You know what I mean? Like, let me fucking compete, right? And so it was kind of hard because like thankful for Josh and Drew Palomo, right? Those guys like they helped me out. Like first couple competitions was Robert Drysdale, and then I went to Grapplers Club. I still had to go under Robert Drysdale, and then I finally went under Otto's, which has been a great gym. I teach over there.
So you're trying out autos right now.
Yeah, I train at
Okay.
Autos Tacoma. So if anybody's ever in Washington, yeah, Autos Tacoma, it's where I'm at. And then it's also just a very good gym. I mean, there's a bunch of gyms that are really good now, a lot that just open up. It's crazy. Like just being here within the 4 years, how many fucking gyms have opened up is really good. And then I do every once in a while stop by with Jay Palacios, another guy
So
from Guam.
Jake stays Jason Washington.
Yeah, Jay Palacios.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Okay, I saw a
Yeah,
picture of you and him. Cause I saw him in Vegas. I saw him Master Worlds.
yeah, he just opened up a gym.
Wow.
He just opened up a gym in DuPont. Like, bro, everybody's been waiting for it. But man, like, very great guy. Like,
Humble, yeah, he's very humble.
a very humble. Love him, man. Like, he always takes care of me. Like, always tells me like his gym's always open to me. And he trains the we call him the ghosts, right, of the
The
army.
ghost, the
Yeah, he
ghost.
trains the ghosts of the army, so he's big time.
Yeah.
I'm at Autos now, and so that's where I'm at. My competition, like my competing, has slowed down just because, like I said, like trying to like focus on my career and then also my house. Right? I bought a house, but we also kind of like with my house just got done with like a small renovation because it went from a water leak to an abatement, which was just a disaster.
Oh
So it kind of
man.
like, yeah, it kind of like killed my year this year. But even with that, like I teach the guys, like I teach the guys at work, and then I teach over at Autos every once in a while.
Nice.
So I'm still actively like training, just not competing. But I do know when I get to Spain, that's my whole goal now is to try and bounce back on competing
Yeah,
again.
you're gonna be where world Europeans are gonna be at. You're gonna be where you're gonna be on that side of the world. Back to what you just said, man. You said like trying to find that home, right? Like for me, where I'm at two parts. Like I found a gym here. I really like a new level, a small gym. You know, what I mean, Sio and remember Fernanda?
Yeah.
So Fernanda, her boyfriend runs the gym now.
Oh, nice.
It's good, man. Like I like the vibes. He's very laid back, very old school. You know what I mean? Like, hey, let's get it done and get the technique. Let's get training and train hard, right? But me and my wife, we sat down and I did a couple of tournaments, and I'm not where I need to be. I can compete against these high level guys because like I know the ins and outs of the game,
Yeah.
but I'm not mentally there. I'm not mentally where I need to be, and it's not the gym, it's not new level, it's not the people. My wife, we sat down and she's like, what do you need? Like, what do you need? You know what I mean? I need that grind again. I need to go to training and get beat up.
Yeah. I think
You know
that's
what I mean? I need to go to
you're
training.
right.
I need to go to training and when someone like I need like 4 or 5 guys or 6 guys that are giving me a run for my money every day when I'm
Yeah.
tired. And
That's the hardest part, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like that's the same like feeling I get here, right? Like, dude, like I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like I don't rep Guam like like some people like hardcore. Like I love Guam, but I'll tell you what, like Guam Jiu-Jitsu, bro. Like I hear it everywhere. Like to me, that's where the fucking grind's at. Like,
yeah.
bro, I hear it all the time. Every person like from here, they're like, "Where are you from?" Like from Guam, they're like, "Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you Guam guys?" Or like, "You
So
guys are on some shit,"
part
you know?
part let me tell you this. So I met this guy, this young kid. His name's Bobby Mafnas, and he trains at Logos. And he's been in Denver. He's been in Denver for almost a year, and he's been training with Michael Liera's sister Elizabeth. He connected me, and I'm actually going there tonight. And I know Michael from he come to Guam and doing
Yeah,
seminars and stuff. And I'm a little nervous to go there, but I know I need to go there.
yeah.
And that's what me and my wife talked about. My wife's like, you need to go to that gym and get competition training in.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
I
was,
feel you, like,
you
it's
know,
so hard, bro, because it's like, you almost get to this point where you're like you feel really good, right? Like, your jujitsu is, like, super good, and then when you finally get to those guys that, like, kick your ass, you're like you start to think about it, you're like, "Fuck, am I really that good?"
it's like, where did 22 years of my life go? Like, no, and Master Worlds, man, like my first match, I went against this opponent. This guy competes every freaking week, and I don't know how they have the time or money to do that. While I'm over here trying to trying
Yeah,
to please Uncle Sam over here,
yeah.
for a dollar.
Thank you for your service, brother.
You know what I mean? And bro, so I did Master Worlds, and I got this guy's back, and I was like, I got his back, bro. And I'm like, yo, like, my wife said, you're not far. You're not far from
Yeah.
where you need. Like, you're competing at this high level, and you got another black belt's back. Like, that's wicked.
No, bro,
So
like, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, dude, like, bro, that's why I believe in like our jujitsu, right? Because, like, bro, like I said, like, dude, we've had some like monsters back home, right? Like, dude, like, remember like when they brought Marcelo, right? Like,
yeah, yeah,
Marcelo, they had fucking all these guys come to Guam, Lucas Ley, Mendes brothers, Mike Fowler, Ensign Inoue, Jacques
yeah.
right? Like DJ
Barrett,
Jackson, like,
Barrett, yeah, Barrett Yoshida.
yeah, Barrett Yoshida,
You know
like,
what I
bro,
mean?
like we like that's what I'm saying. Like, we know jujitsu, you know what I mean? Like, because people ask me too, like, "Hey, when did you start training?" I'm like, "Bro, It's crazy, like, that's why when I fall back on 'em, like, you and Chris were, like, my first teachers, like, bro, I remember, like, going to these fucking nasty ass mats, like, fucking at UX or, like, we're in the back and we're fucking you're trying to teach us, you know what I mean, jujitsu, and then that's why I love Lewis and Elijah, right, like, bro, they always used to make jokes, right, I remember, like, going as a kid, right, and then, like, even when I finally got my black belt or, like, I was my brown belt, they're always like, "Hey, when you coming over to my gym?" Trying to recruit me, you know, and
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, it was
bro,
always yeah.
it's wild, dude, like, you know, and like I said, like, just seeing the grind, like, all the guys that are from there, like, I know we're not far because, like, it's crazy, and you know, it's, like, to me, what I feel like the best part about not only our jujitsu, about being the grind, I feel like a lot of our jujitsu is, like, such the basic jujitsu where it's just like everybody forgets like all about it and just like, oh, I'm gonna do this fucking reverse de la Hiva. I'm like, buddy, I'm gonna smash that reverse de la Hiva right now with this pressure.
No, dude, and you know what's crazy, bro? Like even when you go to like other gyms, because I've been to some gyms in California, and some of their top guys they try to turn that dog up. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh boy, I'm like, dude, I was a rough kid, bro.
Yeah.
Don't get my like. I'm gonna come in like, oops, I'm nice, but like you said, bro. As soon as you grind my head, bro, hey, I'm flipping the switch, man. Hey, I'm gonna put gas on. I'm gonna throttle, full throttle, baby,
Yeah.
full throttle. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna bring that throttle out, man. You know what I mean? Like we're only gonna know one pace and one pace
Yeah.
only. You know what I mean? Until someone quit or someone, I'm not gonna quit. You know. But that's the mentality, bro. I tell people when I even when I met when I had to have dinner with this with Bobby, I told him I said, bro, that's what we have, bro. That's why you thrive over there, is because we have that grind, bro. But also too, we have that respect. You know what I mean? Like I talked to I actually called up Elizabeth Liera, and I talked to her. I said, hey, like just because I'm a black belt, like I'm not gonna come to your establishment and think I'm gonna train here for free.
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean? And that's where, like that's where the difference is between me and where I'm from in Guam and all these other people, all these other black belts in the United States, like all these other black belts, dude. Like I don't know, I don't know what it is. Maybe you've seen it. Maybe you can
Yeah.
explain to me. They feel entitled.
Yeah.
Like when they go to a school, they feel entitled. No, what are you offering that school? Like, are you helping out that school in some way, shape, form? Are you teaching? Are you benefiting that school? Like right off
Yeah.
the rip, they think
Yeah.
they have a black belt. They think they're entitled, and that's the one thing I don't do, bro. I go to anyone's establishment, bro. Like I'm gonna be like, hey, how much is your fees? You know what I mean? Because by the end of the
Yeah.
day, you gotta eat. It's just like me going to work and be like, oh, I got a Ranger tab. No, no, no. Like I'm not you don't you know what I mean? I got a Ranger tab. I do everything now. I know everything. Like, no, dude. Like, how
Yeah.
am I
I
benefiting?
think you're right with that respect or wise, right? Because I think it follows us everywhere. Because even with me, like when I go on to somebody's like mats too, I even wait. Like I ask the professor, like, hey, is it cool if I step on your mats? You know what I mean? Like it's stuff like that, right? Like I feel like a lot of it, right? Like you think about like I think about it here in the States, like sometimes like the jujitsu here is like watered down, right? It's almost like right karate used to be
Yeah,
like somewhat like karate used to be fucking legit. I mean, there's still karate fight. What's his name? The UFC firefighter, firefighter, fighter that does karate. I forget what his name,
Lyoto
but
Machida,
he was that.
Lyoto Machida.
No, no, no. There's white dude. I forget what his name is, but he does karate, and bro, he's like legit karate, right? Like
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying, right? Like you start the karate and you're like, "Ah, hey, you know what? $200, I'll give you the next belt." You know what I mean? Or like taekwondo, right? Like all of these martial arts, right? Like some obviously somewhat used to be like the shit, right? Until it was just like, hey, you know what? We can do this and we can do that. But I mean, that's just like jujitsu, right? People talk about it like they're like, oh, this guy got his belt here. I'm like, bro, people been paying for their fucking belts since like 19 forgotten.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, there's people who got their black belts because they paid for it,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, no, I feel where you're at with that, like, and, the respect and the grind that we have, I feel like that's just something that's really big with us, and like I said, everywhere I go, man, anyone I feel like or they tell me, like, "Where are you from?" "Oh, I'm from Guam." They're like, "Bro, what the fuck's" they're like, "What are you guys fucking eating?" You know what I mean? Or like, "God damn, you guys are fucking, like, crazy," you know?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me, "Where you from?" Like, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, because they're like they wouldn't know. You know what I mean?
Bro, half of the time they think I'm fucking Mexican, bro. I can tell I'm from fucking Mexico, dude. Like, start talking to me in Spanish out here. I'm like, bro, I don't fucking understand.
But yeah, no, like that's good. So you're an autos, you teach, and that's your kind of your home base now. You kind of found like a foundation of like where you can grow.
Yeah.
And then you go to Pilates gym to go cross train a little bit. That's good. I think you're in a good spot, man, where like before you move, you can establish yourself a little bit more and then go move to Spain and then look at where gyms. If there's no gym there, you already know what you got to do. Start your own,
Well, I
create your own
think
group.
the thing that I think out there is my uncle Pat. You remember Pat Fleming?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's out
Yeah.
in Spain.
So he used to live in Spain. He just I think his orders or his contract got up, but I think he might go back out there because I think you have to take a break for like a year,
Dang.
and then you can go back.
Wait, so you're gonna bring your family over there to Spain,
Oh yeah, everybody's going. Yeah.
and then
So
for a year, and then move back? Are you
no,
gonna
no,
move it?
no, no. It's a 3-year contract.
Okay,
And
okay,
then you can actually extend up to 7 years. So that's my whole goal is if I can extend that full contract is to try obviously over there get promoted over there again and then move over to Japan to finally like retire out in Japan.
nice.
But if the 3 years ends and I can't come back or I can't extend, then I have to come back to Washington, which is not a problem. I'm just going to just obviously keep working to get promoted and then try and still get the job out there. So the nice thing about it too is just like jujitsu and all that stuff, right? Is like the connections, right? Like
Yes, yes,
making those connections and not trying not to be a fucking shitbag and hopefully be good and do your job so that people can be like, hey, this guy's actually good, because that's how the fire department works, right? Like if you want to sometimes when you want to get a job there, people like trash us sometimes like, oh, it's hard to get in there and all this. It's because, bro, it's a brotherhood, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
we don't need no shitbags, right? Like, bro, like I always tell these guys, even on medical calls and stuff, like, bro, treat people like you would want to be if that was your family, right? Like
100%, yeah,
you never know, You never know. I could in Denver, right? And like just say I'm on Denver and it's like some random dude or and I'm with you or maybe your wife goes to the hospital, right? It's like, can you imagine like me fucking treating your wife like shit? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like it's just fucked up,
That's a
And
lot
so
of those private EMT people, bro. Like they have no interperson skills.
yeah, it's because like bro, those are grinders, dude. Like
Yeah,
those jobs are nuts. I mean, but yeah, and that's the thing though. I talk about too here is like is changing, right? Changing the how do you say it? The ways, right, or the culture, right? There you go, changing the culture, right? Like here, it was funny. Like some of these guys, like bro, when I first came here, like nobody's like eating like dinner together. They got their own meals. You're like, what the fuck?
it is weird.
Yeah, like the chief. So the chief too, the one of our chiefs, like he established this like thing where like you call people by their first names, right? Instead of like cap or like lieutenant or LT or whatever, right? And I grew up where like if you had the rank, right? Like I'm calling you that, like LT, cap, like
Yeah,
chief,
yeah,
And so the way that these guys would call it, the only time you would see them would be like in a like a fucked up way, like, oh yeah, chief, I got it. Yeah, I'll do that for you, chief. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh hey, chief, yeah, I got you. It's that demeanor that they did. So I felt like I kind of made that change, right? Like, bro, we're always kind of like eating dinner all the time. I started like, it's so funny. I call people chief, lieutenant, cap, and like it just kind of just all started like in our station. Everybody calls people
dang,
by,
bro,
you
changing
know,
the culture.
yeah,
That's a big one.
yeah, and to me, I like that's it that's the thing, right? Like, dude, like we that's our second home, you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine like working with a dude and not seeing him fucking all day and you're just like, well, I guess I'll just see you on a call. Like, I don't know fucking anything about you, but okay.
Yeah.
And
That's what I do too here, since I moved. I teach at Fort Carson at the 168th RTI. I'm a BLC instructor, and a lot of the instructors there, we're mixing reservists, active duty, and National Guard. And one thing I've tried to foster and change in that environment is like the way you speak to your coworkers. Like you're gonna speak to them with dignity and respect. If you have a problem, you bring it up to that person, and you don't go run to mommy and daddy, and you know what I mean? Like you handle it at your level and you've just built that team cohesiveness, it's like, but you're still gonna give that respect for the rank, you know what I mean? That position, you know what I mean? And that's cool that you were able to change that, man. And like I said, anywhere we go, we change everything, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we kinda
It's
make it we
about
kinda make it fit we kinda make it fit our comfortability.
yeah.
That's what it
It's always
is, you
funny
know?
though, because that's what I'm saying, like, sometimes I'll catch a guy slipping, right? They'll be like, "Hey, Brandon." I'm like, "What?" And they'll be like, "Brandon." I'm like, "What?" They'll be like, "Oh, Cap." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's better."
Oh, yeah, I think he's a captain,
Yeah.
man. I couldn't hear
Yeah.
you, man. I couldn't hear you,
Yeah.
man. I didn't hear the
Yeah.
captain first, you know what I
Let's
mean? Like,
put some respect on that name, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah,
but yeah, you know, that's and like you said, right, to make us like comfortable, but also too, it's just like I just think when it, you know, you obviously you can't change everybody, right? But I think like when you kind of like bring that culture, I feel like we have such a great culture, man. Like there's some I would say there's some really bad Chamorro culture, and but I mean, right, that's what you were known as, right? Like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, right? Like, hey, like come over here and eat, all right? Or like, hey, come, you know, like
yeah.
yeah, come and sit down with us, right? Like that stuff like that, right? So yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at with my career. That's it's going great, man. Like I can't complain.
So to close this out, brother, where you seeing yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, where I see myself in 5 years is obviously like a whole different person, right? But like, you know, still grinding, still hopefully getting promoted. My goal is to get promoted to a chief. I mean, if I can get that within the 5 years, that would be fucking amazing, which I'm gonna do my best to do. And then obviously kids growing older and just trying to be, I would say just a better role model, you know, like I can't hold what the future holds, but I'm just trying to do my best, man. Like I said, like I'm not perfect. Nobody's fucking perfect. I've made my mistakes. I've done a lot of things, and you're gonna have that mentality of people. They're gonna like you. They're not gonna like you from when they knew you or when they didn't. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
they're gonna have their opinions about you. We can have this podcast and be like, ah, that's fake ass Kyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
I,
yeah.
I I get it, right? But my thing now is right with a lot of the things that have happened throughout the years and everything that's been going on in my life, and the person I'm trying to be is that legacy I want to leave behind for my family, for my kids. You know what I mean? Like
That's why
I
I
want them
started this,
to
bro. That's why
yeah,
I
I want
started this.
some yeah, yeah, I want them to look back and be like, "You know what? Like, man, my fucking dad helped me out through the way," or like, "Hey, I can take this and I can, you know," or, you know, even too, like I always tell them, "Be better than me," right?
Yes,
Like anybody, even
yes.
even even your guys under you, your students, jujitsu, fire, work, army, bro, they'll look up to you and they'll tell you, "Man, I wanna be just like you." Fuck no. Be better than me, you know? Do the best that you can be better than what I'm doing, you know?
So, and then what is one advice, man, you can give to a kid, someone, or an adult back at home, or even here in the United States that are struggling with trauma? Like, what is one thing like an advice you can give them to work through that trauma?
One an advice I can give to someone that's, I would say, going through trauma is man, like talk to somebody and get some help, man. Like depending on how bad it is, right? Like there's so many resources out there. And you know there may not be people that you feel comfortable like going around and talking to, or you know, find that person that's going to kind of like guide you there, right? Like sometimes too, we could be in a bad spot and we have to think about the decisions, whether what's right and wrong, right? And we should know what's right and wrong. But I think it's just talking and like letting it out, like expressing yourself, right? Because the more you hold it in, right, the angrier you're gonna get. These things are gonna be built up, and you might regret doing things or saying things that you didn't want to. And I think it's better that we're more open, right? Like I always tell you know, some people laugh, right? Like, bro, tell your friends you're proud of them, your brothers, your sisters, your family. Like, tell them you're proud of them. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you're here for them because it's not every day you're gonna hear that. I think that life's too short to kind of like hold on to those things and be ashamed or nervous to tell to tell like me telling you, bro, like legit, like I'm proud of you and I love you and I'm glad to see where you're going. You know what I mean? Like this is I think that's what we need to just be more human being, right?
Yeah,
Like you can't even I see it, right? Like sometimes you can't even say hi with somebody being like, what the fuck? Like mind your own business or you don't know who I am. Like,
yeah,
oh man, I'm just saying what's up. Like, how you doing today? Right? Like these little things people don't realize will change somebody's day around, you
I
know?
like
So,
that, man. I like
yeah.
that. Hey guys, you heard it first, man. Kyle Mafnas, brother, thank you so much, bro, like for sharing your life experience and where you're heading and how you deal with your own personal like life and how things are working out for you, man. And like I said, if this podcast is helping someone put life into perspective that every day people are going to through problems and there's solutions to it, please share, send it to someone that needs to hear these things, man, because we're starting to make a movement and a lot of times in the Chamorro culture and in even here in the United States, people are going through trauma, but they just don't know how. They don't hear it from people that are actually living it and knowing how to deal with it. But brother, thank you again for
Thank you, brother.
sharing again, and I really really appreciate it, man. And I mean, I look forward to hearing good things of what's coming for you, and I'll actually see it too. And we'll just keep in touch, and hopefully, I hope to God and pray that you can go to Master Worlds next year, and it'll be a fun time, and
Yes, of course.
trying to get Chris out here too. Chris is planning to come to Master Worlds because Birdie's birthday is around the same times. Hopefully, my brother gets to be here in Master Worlds too, and you get to be in Master Worlds, and we could all Mark Delgado will be a Master. Everyone would be in Master Worlds. You know what I mean? We all could connect and have.
We're all getting old, bro.
Yeah. Well,
Ain't
guys,
even a regular cup.
thank you so much, man, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you, bro. Proud of you. Love you, brother.